Hello, dear friends. If freedom means anything, it means the right to tell people what they don't want to hear. George Orwell. Opinion piece. It's happening. It has begun. Declassification. Injustice rectified. Transitional phase. Economic liberation. The mystery of Templars. The purpose of life is to live it. We came here to change the world. People united towards a new dawn. Let's start. Class has begun. We are in a transitional phase of declassification according to Bio Clandestina. There are still people asking, when is something going to happen? It is happening. We are in the declassification phase of an operation to liberate humankind from ignorance. The truth is coming to light and is being transmitted to the people, but not in a sensationalist way, but gradually, little by little. Everything revolves around the collective, following the law of the 100th monkey. We are witnessing an operation to reverse brainwashing. Once much of this brainwashing has been reversed and people are mentally prepared, then we can move to the next phase. Declassification means the official opening of previously confidential information. It consists of lifting the secret, reserved or restricted status of a document, file, or information to allow public or controlled access. This applies to government, military, judicial, or institutional materials that were previously protected for security or privacy reasons. We have to undo decades of brainwashing. This process cannot be achieved overnight. It must be repeated several times over the years to instill the true reality in the collective consciousness and override the pre-existing programming. The economy is important because we have all suffered humiliations in our work in order to pay our expenses and bills. Therefore, humanity's liberation is both economic and spiritual. They underestimate us. They forget that some of us were born for this moment, that some of us have been preparing for lifetimes. They forget that some of us see through the deception and that our spiritual immune system is strong, according to Axios 4b. They underestimate our strength and our resistance to temptation. They mistakenly believe that we are attached to our material wealth and that we depend on it for happiness. They forget that we know there is a better way and that we know the path we walk, that we maintain an unwavering vision of peace and truth. We didn't come here for it to be easy. We didn't come here to be comfortable. We didn't come here to build our ego or our name. We didn't come here to build our material empire. We didn't come here for short-term gain. We came here to change the world, to spread love and unity to all hearts and the earth. We came here to defend the divine spirit and unity. We are warriors and we will change the world. Desperation. The cabal is desperate and injecting emergency liquidity to delay a financial system of a whole. Proletario details the tactics used to prolong the viability of failing European banks, such as Deutsche Bank, through liquidity injections, concealing their true intentions with false narratives. It also states that 2.4 billion operation involving Deutsche Bank was channeled in the fourth quarter of 2025 through mechanisms of the European Central Bank. This maneuver aimed to delay the collapse of the financial system and slow the transition to the new debt settlement mechanisms. Injustice corrected. Elena Danán argues that starting the 20th century, Earth entered a dark timeline that has been corrected by a network of benevolent entities. In her view, humanity has been threatened by an alliance formed by the Nazi Dark Fleet, the Serpents, the Grease of Orion, and other associated groups seeking to control the star system and subjugate human beings. She also claims that the Andromedan Council detected the origin of this situation along with the Coalition of Wells, promoted the program of envoys or starseeds. These envoys traveled to the past and entered human bodies to awaken themselves first and then help awaken humanity. Living in 5D. Craig Woods explains what it means to live in 5D and presents it as a shift in consciousness that allows one to inhabit the physical body from a timeless inner perspective. This idea is linked to being present in the now, reducing fear and observing thoughts without identifying with them. Living this way implies freeing oneself from the mental attachments of the past, including dissolved memories, old impressions, previous incarnations, and conditional identities. Thus, the human being comes to recognize as someone always new in the eternal present, capable of remembering what has been lived without being defined by it. The fifth dimension is not about escaping the physical world, but about perceiving it from a higher state of consciousness. Therefore, raising one's frequency is like a way of looking at reality without rejection, from a broader perception less limited by automatic reaction. Each choice of present versus fear, of awareness versus reaction, and of timelessness versus limitation helps to dissolve the veils that obstruct perception. This process benefits both individual and collective experience. Purpose of life. Laura Aboli proposes that purpose of life is to live it, because it is a gift from the Creator, an opportunity to experience, learn, and grow. By adopting this perspective, human beings cease to see themselves merely as an ego or a personal, and begin to understand themselves as an eternal soul having a temporary experience. This vision allows us to interpret difficulties as chosen lessons and not just as suffering. Life presents itself as a live performance in which each human being plays the role their soul has chosen. Therefore, it is advisable to pay attention to experiences, learn from them, and move forward with them to enjoy the journey more fully. Finally, the author affirms that life is not meant to be suffered, although pain is part of it, but rather to be lived to the fullest. Templar Mystery. Guardian Daniel presents the Knights Templar as an order founded in 1118 in Jerusalem that supposedly found the Ark of the Covenant and the Holy Grail on the Temple Mount as high-frequency technological devices. It also positions the order as the origin of the modern banking system and as a structure that amassed great economic and political power in the Middle Ages. The Templars developed letters of credit to move value without essentially transferring gold, which would have given rise to checks and debit cards. They lent money to kings and nations, built Gothic cathedrals as frequency resonators, and operated outside the authority of monarchs and popes. It adds that the coalition recovered the Templar treasure and integrated it into the quantum financial system. It defines the Holy Grail as the realization of divine lineage, and the Ark as the power of high vibration frequency. It also presents the historical debt as settled and concludes that the bank is closed. Spain. Trump claims Spain is being invaded. Some 48,300 migrants have returned to Morocco after 50,000 entered Ceuta. Italy closes its maritime and air border with Spain. Finland supports excluding Spain from the Schengen area due to the invasion of Ceuta. Denmark and the Czech Republic have joined this position in recent hours. The European Commission urges Spain to separate the Public Prosecutor's Office from the government and laments the lack of progress in the fight against corruption. Demand for accommodation in Spain skyrockets due to the August 12th solar eclipse. Americas. Argentina breaks its hydrocarbon production record in over 20 years. Keiko Fujimori assumes power in Peru. Peru's new president states she inherits a state weakened by corruption. A Peruvian court has annulled the case against former President Ollanta Humala. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.